Hello, hello, dear viewers, friends, and all of that. This is TBT here, and had a little oopsie-doopsie here. Didn't record any of my audio over the in-game sounds, so you're stuck listening to my dulcet tones as I talk over it in post. Anyway, as you can see there, we have ourselves a shiny Velonasaurus, specifically a Burning Velonasaur. Boy, oh boy, did it take me a while to find this. And I've been out here on and off when I have free time looking for good levels, and finally a shiny shows up. You know how it is. You know, it's what we call in the biz getting arced, where the thing you need is never going to show up, but when it finally does, it's well worth it. And what we're gonna do here, we're actually gonna, I believe what I'm doing there is I'm gonna kill this weaker one, or whatever that was. And we're gonna kill this one there, and then we're going to go right in and use my usual Gigantophus trick. Yep, there you go, we got him. We're gonna immediately trigger Hypnosis. Yeah. And when he's stuck like that, he ain't going anywhere. Like, no, he is caught in the grab, and he is being hypnotized. He is basically, this is a basically guaranteed knockout. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't think this was a little bit overpowered, but well worth it, honestly. To nail a shiny Velonasaur, yeah. Yep. Absolutely gonna go for that. I love the Gigantophus so much. It's such a good creature. Oh, these guys are out here picking a fight with my with Lady Snowl over here. We can't have that. By the way, if you find yourself enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all of those things that will please the algorithm gods and spread this video around the platform. It really does help me out, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sorry, I forgot to take a breath there. Anyway, here we are, and we are in the desert biome on Extinction, by the way. This is the one and only place where you will find Velonasaurs. I mean, sometimes you'll find them wandering around outside, but that's mostly because they've wandered out of the area there. Yes, and you'll note that I have quite a lot of extraordinary kibble. There is an explanation, and we will go over that once we are back at base. I mean, you can probably figure it out if you spend any time on this map on Ark Survival Ascended. There is a new item in Bob's Tall Tales that is extremely good at getting kibble in a ridiculously easy fashion. If not, a little grotesque. Also, if you'll note, I have my taming, or I have my, my dino finder up, so I'm going and pinging that other Velonasaur because I was hoping to get a breeding pair of them. And the main reason we want them is mostly for style points. Like, I just want to do what I did back on Fjordur, my very first Let's Play in Ark. If you haven't checked that out, you absolutely should go do so. I mean, it's definitely not going to be as great of quality as what I'm doing now, in my opinion, but, I mean, hey, it's a fun time. But yeah, I want to do the breeding and make some base guards. I was also hoping to breed some mutants to do some drops with, alongside maybe the Edmontonia and possibly the snake, maybe something else. We're also going to need to tame, so many things. There's so much to do. But we're going to start small. We're going to start with these, the Edmontonia, and work our way up from there. Oh, one thing. You may notice at some point that the chibi around my neck is not the same one that I was wearing in the previous episode. Yeah, so as I was fighting that Tarbosaurus right there, I need to say something here. Do not, if you are riding a Gigantophus, do not attempt to coil around them. Yes, it will technically work. Yes, the animal will die, but there is a chance you will glitch through the bottom of the map. And what happened when I did that was I fell. Even if I tried to use Ghost or Fly, it would not let me stop falling. And then upon dismounting, I died as if it had been triggered that I was meshing or something. So, Yeah, extremely. Be careful with that with the Tarbosaurus. It can bug you out and ruin your day. So I basically had to reacquire everything via the use of the recovery setting on my Dino storage mod, and then you know, basically re-get my gear. Couldn't bring all that back though. I love the sounds Velonasaurs make too. That kind of thing, that little thrumming call. Oh, he's not gonna be calling anybody anymore. Get in my belly. Oh, for those of you unfamiliar with the shiny mod, the burning lunar, like a burning lunar creature has some abilities. The first thing, I believe the burning part insulates you. The lunar part, and they can be different combinations of anything. Oh, that's an alpha carno. But lunar creatures take reduced fall damage and can jump a lot farther and higher, which can be quite useful. But the Velonasaur in particular, well, I mean, the burning side of it is more like... What's it called? Okay. It seems to offer some sort of fire resistance or heat resistance, but curiously, I have not found anything that indicates that it does extra fire damage to anything with any of its attacks. At least I have yet to see that. But oh yeah, just gonna take that guy out real quick. Man, I gotta say I love the way the snake moves, even after all this time has passed. And I say all this time has passed as if any real time has passed. And there has been some, but not a lot. I love, like, honestly, Mora, you did yourself on this one. Like, this is insane. I also like to point out, if there's one thing, in my opinion, that's really helped this game stay afloat, not that it isn't a good game by itself, but it does have its fair share of problems, but more on that in a future video. I think the modding community has really, in my opinion, stepped up and done some great work. Like, we're not even... Like, we're, what, barely over a year since the game released, and I feel like there's already maybe not more content, but better content than what was available in ASA. So, although I will say it makes my life a little bit... It doesn't make it harder, but it makes it interesting. God, the turbo's loud. But it makes it interesting because I have to figure out what I want to tame going forward, and then like make the compromise between vanilla and modded creatures. So there is a plan. There is something of a plan in the works here, but yeah, I'm just having my coffee here. It's about 5 a.m. Woke up much earlier than I meant to. Ah, well. Such is life. What I love about this snake is that in spite of the fact that it has some hitbox things, like all art creatures do, because of the way it moves, you can actually attack with a great deal of precision in spite of the creature's size. So you can really actually pick and choose what target you want to try and hit with, you know, if you've got two things standing directly next to each other, it becomes a problem, but otherwise, it's fantastic. Oh man, this guy coming over here and blowing smoke my way, huh? Take a nap. Buddy came over and attacked me, so I put him in timeout. I will just say it now, in spite of the fact that I think this is a little, like this, the hypnosis is a little bit OP. I'm absolutely going to use it when I go for a mana Garmer, because I do not feel like making a trap. It's just, like, I mean, although it depends. It's like, if y'all want to see me make a trap, and maybe, you know what, maybe I'll save that for a creature feature, because I always go into creature features with the assumption that you don't have another mod available that would make that easier, so I'll usually mention mods that do help, though. So I think I'm going to save that for that video, because my sanity does not want to handle the nightmarish taming that a mana Garmer can bring, for the simple reason that I have the worst luck when it comes to them. That'd be really funny if, you know, I should be focusing on this, but, like, we're just taming up these, this is actually me, by the way, testing whether or not you could hypnotize and knock out and then tame a baby dinosaur, and the answer is yes, you can do that. Much like with the imprinting, it doesn't really matter. Like, you don't gain any levels for doing this, so you can't cheat the system and go, I'm going to tame this and gain a bunch of levels and then imprint it. No, you still have to imprint it. It'd be interesting if somebody's done the math. I'm sure someone has. And if you have, or know someone who has, or know where I can find that information, just let me know in the comments. Oh, the computer decided it wants to fall asleep. But, yeah, basically, I want to know, like, if you were to get a full imprint on a wild imprinted baby, would it matter? Like, would it account for the lost levels that you can't get from taming it, nor taming the wild adult? Because imprinting's pretty powerful. Like let's not kid ourselves here. Imprinting is very strong, but is it strong enough? Call it weird, but I put a little bit of honey in my coffee, and it just it makes all the difference. All right, so as we tame these up, I think this is about time to cut away, and I will bring us back when we get home, because there's something I need to show off, and that is where I got the kibble for all this, and how I've been building up my resources. There we go. Now we've got our mated pair of Velonasaurs. All right, welcome to the Bio Grinder, and this is where things get a little graphic. I normally don't like doing stuff like this, but the trade-off for resources is so worth it. It is so worth a little bit of, you know, moral flexibility, you know? Or I'm just gonna stare at it for a while. I think what I was trying to do was emphasize what you need to do to make it. Yeah, so it's all right there on the screen. You've got a bunch of gacha crystals there that you can see, and I've probably had a lot of those in my inventory since before I left to get the... oh, yep, there we go. You know what makes it bearable? That there's no, like, horrendous cry from this creature. I couldn't do this if it had that. But yeah, what this does is it will grant you kibble by mulching these creatures. It will grant you kibble based on what the creature's egg type would give you. Gigantopus, for instance, will give you extraordinary kibble because that's what its egg type would give you as well. So you can actually save quite a bit on farming there. Very good. Now we're gonna jump over, and I'm going to show you guys what I do for my resource building lately, at least as regards with metal, crystal, stone, and some other stuff. I really should be doing sap as well, just a little bit, but I can't be bothered yet. I'm gonna need it, though. So basically what you're seeing right here is just 2 of the gachas that I have going. These are the original 2 that I tamed. In not the previous episode, but the one before that. And what you have there is you have the classic, you have the Pegomastics there to gather up the gacha crystals, and then you can take them out of his inventory, and then we go down here and I just open up all of these crystals, and we just go ham. You can see already, even with the amount open there, it seems individually like there's not a lot to it. But I promise you it's well and truly worth it when you have a bunch of crystals. Like, I have a total of 6 gachas on resource production, and I have more metal, stone, crystal, oil, or not oil, obsidian than I think I'm ever going to need at all, ever. Okay, now what we're doing is we're crafting the... Yeah, I'm kind of jumping around here, man. What we're doing here is we're crafting the Velonasaur saddle because I obviously need to showcase what this creature can do, and as usual with me, I forgot to bring a saddle with me on my journey. I tend to do that. So I know what I want to tame, and then don't bring all the things I need. Now, like I said before, I'm pretty sure this doesn't do fire damage at all, which I'm a little disappointed about, but I understand. But one thing that it does do, because it has the LUNAR trait as well, is that it will fall and jump a little bit more slowly, as you can see here, which is very useful. It has reduced fall damage, I believe, and it also has a longer, albeit higher jump. But you can see right there, I'm not doing any fire damage at all with this thing. And this guy just gave up. So Velonasaur has 2 attacks in its normal stance. You just saw them, the tail swipe and the claws. They do respectable damage, but when you click C, you go into turret mode and you get that zoom in like that. Now you can actually alternate between left and right side, like whether you're looking over the left or right shoulder of the creature when you do this. And it's very useful in that regard. And as you can see here, you light this guy up and melt him. Now, I really wish this did do fire damage, and maybe it's supposed to, but I don't think it does. Also, you'll notice I'm pausing the game a lot here. It's like I'm just a little paranoid about graphical bugs, so I'm just kind of occasionally checking to see... Oh, there goes the screen again. God dang it. Yeah, well, screw that guy, I guess. But, yeah, there you go. There's the jump again. It's a little unnerving, actually, but I'm pretty sure this thing does not take hefty fall damage at all, which is great. Unfortunately, when you breed shinies, while the children may inherit the higher stats of this creature, they will not inherit its abilities, I don't think. I don't know if you can... If somebody who's used the shiny mod more than I can let me know if you can actually get a shiny out of an egg. I have never had it happen in all the time playing this game, but, there we go, yep, light him up, yeah. Suck it, Capro! And people say the Velonasaur got nerfed into oblivion. I mean, it objectively did. Like, you should have seen, if you never played ASE, you should have seen what this thing could do when it was first released. There are still videos out there of the terror these things could unleash upon the world. They are scary. They were scary, and they still are, but they're a fraction of what they used to be. Still no slouch. Like, absolutely, as you can see, as a mid-game tame, they are very formidable. You can definitely see, though, that there is a buff that the fire effect is giving me there on the bottom right screen, just right next to my snake buff from my snake chibi. I'm just not sure what that buff is. Like, I probably should take a look at what it's doing, but... But yes, it is my full intention to try and breed up some of these and make a home defense system that is practical and resource friendly, and then also have a nice, lovely little squad to go and do some low level drops with. Maybe some element veins. Now there is actually one more thing I need to show you guys moving out, and that is how I do the cementing piece, because I have found quite the interesting trick to get it. And it involves a Bilzobufo and the No Untamable's Titanomyrma. Not the regular Titanomyrma, the No Untamables version, because the No Untamables version, as you're gonna see here, it gets wild. No need to worry about the beels. I have the frog. I've already tamed one, but But yeah, that lunar jumping ability is actually really good on a Velonasaur, I gotta say. It's like, it doesn't seem like it'd be that helpful, but on a Velonasaur, where if you want to focus turret mode, it actually opens up some extra strategies, because you can use that to get away from things pretty effectively. Granted, it's not a very quick jump, so you'd still be slowed, so if it's fast enough to catch up, if it's fast enough to outrun you, it's probably fast enough to catch you when you land. You'll also notice I'm not leveling this thing too much yet. I think I did a little bit, but... Oh yeah, it's Cinzosaurus. That's part of the Prehistoric Beasts mod. I don't remember if it's part 1 or 4 that it's in. But, yeah. I have not tamed one yet. I certainly can. I'd love to see what it can do, but from my first glance, it being a Hadrosaur, not unlike the Parasaur or Parasaurolophus, my guess is that it will operate in a similar manner to that. It even runs away like a Parasaur would. So that tail swipe, like that tail run attack right there, that used to be extremely nasty. But if there's anything on the Velonasaur that did get nerfed to the point of irrelevance, it would be that attack right there. Like, that attack actually used to be one of its most dangerous tools, and now it's worthless. Oh, one other thing with the Velonasaur's quills that it fires, when those hit a flyer, if a tame Velonasaur hits a flyer with those quills, that flyer is forced to land. If it can do so. Not all flyers can land, like I don't think the Onyx can. Trying to think of what else can't. The Phoenix now can, so that's no longer safe, but yeah, it will ground flyers temporarily, which is extremely useful. Especially here when you may have to deal with flying things attacking your stuff. Okay, never mind. There's two things I have to show off here, so let's get on with it. We've got our guy that I've kept in my inventory since I tamed him in the Gigantophis episode, and that is the, what is this, the Kenklen? So this guy is basically super Terror Bird. That's the best way to describe him. Anything that the Terror Bird can do, he can do better, and he has a couple of extra things. I'm not quite sure what those are yet. He has a couple of different calls that he can do. But yeah, he's fast, he's powerful. He's, if the Terror Bird was a mid to late game tame. And in my opinion, oh yeah, there, he's got like a tracking ability there, like some kind of a sonar. I still haven't worked out quite what that is, but I would guess that that's what it does. And then that second call, that hiss, I'm not sure what that does, but yeah, nice damage, nice speed. I will say, I think the HP is a little bit ridiculous on these things. I think that needs to be nerfed, but whatever, fine. It also has the hold the jump button to flip the flappity glide a little bit, so it's got all that in its kit. I like it as an upgrade to the Terror Bird, but because of the fact that it is a knockout tame like the Terror Bird, there is virtually no reason to tame a Terror Bird when this thing exists. Incidentally, the Kenklen actually is also, if you couldn't tell, a Terror Bird in its own right. It is just a much larger version. This is a specific species of, I believe it is Forest Rocked? Yes, it is a Forest Rocked Terror Bird, and this one in particular is notorious for standing almost 10 feet tall. Whereas the one from Ark is the normal one from Ark is a little bit more generic and a little smaller. I believe it too is a Forest Rocked Terror Bird, but not the biggest one. This is supposedly the largest of them. So you have a little bit of paleontology there for you on what makes this different from a Terror Bird, and the answer is, well, it's just a more specific Terror Bird. And here we go. Now we switch to the Beelzebufo. This was a nice level that I tamed out in that water area that we saw earlier. And now you'll notice here we've got the anthill, the Titanomyrma anthill. And now you can probably see where this is going. We're going to go aggro this, and what's going to happen next is the infinite cementing paste glitch. It's not a glitch, though. It's this is hilarious. Watch this. I farmed like 4 stacks of 1,000 cementing paste because of this. Not right here, but it definitely can be done in a very reasonable amount of time, especially because this is right next to my house. Yep. There you go, honestly. By the way, if you're wondering about those crazy damage numbers, that's because I put a few levels into this thing, and more importantly, the Beelzebufo, the Jack Frog, does a lot of extra damage to bugs, and these bugs are not very strong, so they drop immediately. High reach of benefits, lots of chitin, lots of cementing paste, and we go on about our day. Yeah, this is, all of this on the Velonasaur episode is just me demonstrating what I've been up to off camera. You know, how I'm building up resources to get ready for the next stage, because we are about to transition to what I consider to be more the mid-game play of Extinction. Even though we're well into mid-late game on levels, like the mid-game play is you're starting to get ready for your first rounds of low-level drops and element veins. Building up those resources. We are not even close to getting ready to fight a Titan yet. I will hopefully be using things to do that, but there's still a couple of creatures I need to tame for those fights. One of them being the Giga, among other things. But yeah, this is just to show how we get to that point, because I don't think I do enough of that. I certainly didn't do this in any of my other playthroughs on ASA because I didn't know you could do it. I figured this out. I'm like, I tamed the frog. I'm like, if the ants respawn indefinitely, can I just sit there and just left-click simulator until I have way too much cementing paste? And the answer to that question is yes, you can. As long as you don't damage the anthill. Like, you gotta pull back enough to not hit the anthill, because you can destroy it. And if you do, that breaks the thing, because the queen will pop out. And yeah, I think that is going to do it for today's episode. So if you enjoyed it, do me a solid. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe. All of those things that will please the algorithm gods and spread this video around the platform. But until next time, this has been TBT. I'm signing out, and I will catch you lovely people on the next episode of Ark Survival Ascended here on the Dying Earth. Bye.